Right in front of you stands a strange, non-human figure that resembles a monstrous being. This being isn't human at all. It's a mutant cockroach man from the planet Mars. The man just greeted this unusual creature, but in the next moment, the cockroach man appeared right beside them with incredible speed and tragically ended the life of the man's girlfriend. In a rush, the man scooped up his girlfriend from the ground and angrily shouted at the cockroach man. However, the cockroach man simply ignored his outburst and vanished in an instant. The devastated man looked at his girlfriend, who was on the brink of death, and urgently questioned the ship's captain about what was happening. The captain disclosed the truth. It turns out that Japan experienced a massive population explosion 500 years ago. Faced with the imminent threat to their small island, the Japanese devised a strategy. They transported cockroaches and moss from Earth to Mars, with the hope of nurturing an environment suitable for human life to develop over 5 centuries. During this extended period of migration to Mars, the cockroaches underwent a transformation, eventually evolving to resemble humans. After the passage of 5 centuries, the time for action had arrived. A doctor, with a vested interest in eradicating the Martian cockroach population, assembled a group of unsuspecting individuals to journey to Mars. They were promised millions in return for eliminating the cockroaches. However, upon reaching Mars, they soon realized they had fallen victim to an elaborate scam. Here, the cockroaches are not only imposing and strong, but had also evolved to bear a striking resemblance to humans. They possessed remarkable combat skills. To counter the cockroach menace, the doctor had already altered the genetic makeup of everyone on board. By simply injecting a special agent, they could transform into formidable insect-human hybrids. Just then, a cockroach spotted them and approached their ship. The captain acted swiftly, deploying an insectoid to confront the approaching cockroach man. Simultaneously, the man emerged from the ship, produced a vial of the potion he had carried, and administered it to himself. The transformation was nearly instantaneous, as the drug took hold within his body, turning him into a super insect-human. The man summoned his inner strength and created a fiery attack against the cockroach man. After a brief moment, the cockroach man fell during a sandstorm. But to the man's surprise, the cockroach man quickly recovered. It swiftly struck the man, ending his life. This shocking turn of events left everyone on the ship in utter astonishment. They hadn't expected the cockroach man to be so formidable. Before they could react, the cockroach man had climbed onto their ship, signaling the start of a great battle. Cockroach men repeatedly banged its head against the glass, frightening everyone in the cabin. However, a female team member reassured them, explaining that the glass was the strongest tempered glass available in Japan. In the very next moment, the cockroach man shattered the glass with a powerful impact and infiltrated the cabin. In response, all the team members readied themselves for battle. One of their comrades retrieved a potion and injected it into his body, initiating a transformation that turned him into an ant-human hybrid. The newly empowered team members swiftly tore the cockroach man into pieces. However, the peril was far from over. The radar on the ship revealed a significant swarm of cockroaches approaching rapidly. Unfortunately, the ship had been rendered inoperative after the brutal assault and could no longer take flight. In the interest of everyone's safety, 2 team members suggested they remain behind to confront the approaching swarm of cockroaches, while the others retreated to Earth on a separate ship stationed 5 kilometers away. At that critical moment, a significant number of cockroaches had already invaded the ship, leaping into the cabin, intensifying the impending crisis. One of the genetically modified crew members channeled his energy to unleash a fiery blast, clearing a path through the encroaching cockroaches and guiding the rover to escape. On the opposite side, the 2 crew members who remained aboard the ship found themselves surrounded by the overwhelming cockroach presence. Faced with the sheer numbers, they felt helpless in the dire situation. Realizing the direness of the situation, one of the crew members took decisive action. He input a code to seal the ship and then vented the oxygen to the outside environment. Within moments, the cabin became devoid of oxygen, causing 2 team members and all the cockroaches to suffocate. Meanwhile, the other team members who were attempting to escape faced another perilous challenge. They encountered a massive wall of cockroaches, stacked several meters high, blocking their path. Everyone was left in shock, with no other option but to charge into the swarm of cockroaches with all their might. Fortunately, through sheer luck and determination, they managed to survive the initial cockroach onslaught. But before they could regain their composure, a second wave of cockroaches descended upon them, renewing the perilous battle. Two courageous female team members stepped up to the challenge. They administered the potion, undergoing a transformation that turned them into formidable insect-human hybrids, allowing them to fend off the relentless cockroach assault. However, their heroic efforts came at a cost. The Mars rover they were using was knocked over and tumbled several hundred meters, causing all team members to collapse. Remarkably, the robust rover remained unscathed and continued on autopilot towards its intended destination. Eventually, it brought them to their goal. As the group prepared to launch the ship for their return to Earth, the menacing Cockroach Man resurfaced once more. In a dramatic turn of events, one of the men removed his shirt, revealing a tapestry of tattoos covering his back, hinting that he was far from an ordinary individual. In an abrupt turn of events, the man was struck by multiple bullets, and his assailant was not human. It was a cockroach man from Mars. These cockroach beings possessed impressive physical strength and formidable combat abilities. In response to the dire need to eliminate the cockroaches, a team member named Dasan sprang into action. He retrieved a vial of potion and injected it into his body. Almost instantly, the drug initiated a transformation in Dasan. His forehead sprouted numerous eyes, and he metamorphosed into a colossal, energy-infused insect-human hybrid. Sensing the imminent danger, the cockroach adversaries hastily brandished their weapons, firing wildly at Dasan. However, from Dasan's perspective, the speed of the bullets seemed as slow as the movement of ants. Dasan propelled himself into the air and delivered a single crushing blow that dispatched a cockroach man. Seeing Dasan's success, another team member decided to join the battle, injecting the potion and joining the fray. Together, they swiftly annihilated a significant number of cockroaches. However, an unexpected threat emerged from within the ship as a cockroach egg was on the verge of hatching. Two cockroaches emerged from the egg, and a team member who possessed the ability to control insects recognized the dire situation. She attempted to use her powers to control the newly hatched cockroaches, only to discover that her abilities were futile against these evolved adversaries. In a swift and devastating turn of events, the two cockroaches proved to be unstoppable, and they quickly eliminated the entire team. The two formidable cockroach bosses, accompanied by a horde of cockroaches, tracked down Dasan and his companions. Under the command of their leader, hundreds of cockroaches surged forward to attack Dasan's group. In a frantic response, Dasan and the others quickly injected the potion into their bodies, preparing for a confrontation. A fierce battle erupted, and the unevolved cockroaches proved to be no match for Dasan and his comrades. One after another, the cockroaches were vanquished. However, the situation took a dire turn when the cockroach boss, distinguished by a white dot on its head, personally entered the fray. With a powerful strike, it sent Dasan flying backward, covering a considerable distance. It became evident that Dasan and his companions were outmatched by this formidable cockroach boss. To vanquish the formidable cockroach boss, Dasan resorted to repeatedly injecting himself with potions, continuously augmenting his strength. The battle raged on, leading to the destruction of countless cockroaches. However, the overwhelming numbers of cockroaches had taken their toll on Dasan and his weary team. In a pivotal moment, one of the team members made a sacrificial choice. To eliminate the cockroach boss once and for all, he administered the last remaining potion into his body, fully aware that he would be unable to revert to a human form. Although his explosive power succeeded in eliminating the cockroach boss, he too succumbed to exhaustion and collapsed. As Dasan found himself alone in the final showdown, with another menacing cockroach boss preparing to deliver a decisive blow, a luminous figure soared into the sky. It was none other than Dasan's girlfriend, who had tragically perished at the hands of the cockroach man earlier. She gracefully traversed the skies above the cockroaches, scattering glowing dust towards the ground. Dasan suspected it was a potentially explosive dust, but his concern for his girlfriend's safety propelled him into action. Spreading his wings, he took flight, desperately trying to intercept her path. Just as Dasan was on the brink of reaching his girlfriend, the ground below erupted with a barrage of gunfire from the cockroaches. It was at this moment that the luminous dust met the sparks, resulting in a deafening explosion. Fortunately, Dasan was rescued by his teammates who arrived in the nick of time, sparing him from certain death. The ensuing fire also wiped out all the cockroaches on the ground. Shortly after regaining consciousness, Dasan bid a somber farewell to his fallen comrades. He then boarded the spaceship, preparing to depart from Mars. To his surprise, he discovered that one teammate inside the ship had miraculously survived. Together, they embarked on the escape pod, leaving Mars behind. Astonishingly, the cockroaches that had seemingly been eradicated by the fire emerged unharmed. As Dasan and his surviving teammate departed, the cockroaches observed their departure, marking the end of the movie.